Hello and welcome to Excel Extreme. Today I'd like to show you my dashboard, or may I say, my personal accounting system. I've been building and improving it for years, and it is still a work in progress, though completely functional. It has helping me keeping a close eye on my earnings and spendings, but most importantly, keeping me updated with Excel and VBA, and discovering new stuff almost on a daily basis. The common question I ask is, what if I add this? And the challenge is set to follow. My goal is to challenge you too, and I hope you enjoy it and get a new set of skills in the process. Full disclosure, this channel is intended to someone who is already familiar with Excel and a starter with VBA. We will cover plenty of both and a bit of accountancy, but only the simple stuff. The dashboard system is built over an supercharged Userform on steroids, not a spreadsheet. Today I will show you how it works and what it can do only. So let's start. Today we're going to give a brief presentation of the dashboard. Show two different ways of selecting accounts for pay means and kind of expense. Show how to use the calculator to set or calculate the value of the transaction. Show two examples of recording transactions. Setting up Excel for use with VBA. Show the VBA editor and how to bring it on. Insert in Userform. Dimension the Userform to screen size and give it a name. Hide the Excel top bar, advanced level. So here on the left side is the menu. We will check on it later. Next on top is the list of the last transactions recorded. Below is summary of accounting ratios. Further to the right, some context account info. Down below, preset transactions to record the account selected. Further down, the calculator used set or calculate the value of the transaction. Then send it to the list. Finally, the account's visual mouse selector. Now we're going to record one transaction. Let's for example record our morning visit to the bakery where we paid in cash for bread. Using the preset account selection, click Cash Pay. By default, the expense group will be groceries and the expense itself supermarket. All we have to do next is to be more specific and on the drop-down list select bakery, and that's it. We just named the transaction. This will be recorded as bakery expenses paid with cash. Now we need to give the transaction a value. For example, we bought a loaf for 3 and 5 ciabattas for 1.25 each. Using the calculator, on the first line we type the operation. 1 loaf of 3 plus 5 times ciabatta at 1.25. Click enter. The result is displayed on the second line and ready to be recorded. The enter key turns red, meaning that by clicking it, we will record the transaction by sending it to the list ledger. And there it is. We could also select a pay and expense account by manually browsing through with the calculator selection arrows with the same sequence. Pay means type of expense, and within the type, the expense account. Let's now do another example using a rather simple method of selection that I call visual selection. This is done by simply moving the cursor around the icons below. In this new example, we paid for a bus journey costing 4.5 using contactless payment. Now we move our cursor to the bottom of the screen and onto the group of tree icons to the left, representing the main types of payment: cash, bank debit, and credit cards. Move it then to the middle one, bank pay, and exit through the top. Now we move it to the set of 9 icons to the right and select the kind of transaction the same way by moving the cursor on top of the icon representing a car, transportation, and exit through the top. After we select the expense account by moving the cursor vertically through the set of points on the right of the calculator. Same as above with the first example, we can use the calculator arrows. Set the transaction value and record it the same way as above. And now we're going for the hard stuff. Building it. Before we start building our system dashboard, it's good practice to toggle some settings in Excel first. By selecting File and then Options, we're going to enable the Developer menu on the ribbon. This will allow us to quickly access the macro menu and properties. We can now also be enabled to access the VBA editor directly from this menu instead of the known shortcut, Alt F11. Next, we will create a directory named Workplace, where we will keep the Excel files, all media files to be used, fonts, etc. Back to Excel. We select Trust Center. Next, Trust Center settings. Now, trusted locations. Finally, let's browse to the directory we just created by pressing Add New Location. Press OK. We now created a security zone within the directory Workplace. This will allow macros to run freely from it. At the end of the day, macros running is what this is all about, so now we're ready for the next step. Let's now open a new blank workbook in Excel. And open the VBA editor right away. Now we insert the Userform by selecting the workbook objects and calling the context menu on that, meaning clicking the mouse's left button. Click Insert in Userform. We can see it now on the right side window of the editor. On the Properties window on the bottom left, let's rename as Workdash. Our aim is to cover the whole screen and nothing else to be visible once loaded. Before that, we need to do a few things before dimensioning it. Still on the Properties window, set the background as black. Set the top as 0. Set the left as 0, they probably are already, but both will be negative by the end. The border is none. The startup position is manual. Loaded. As you may notice, even when we set the top and left coordinates to 0, the Excel title bar is shown at all times, even when we try to move the whole Userform upwards with the mouse. To sort out that problem, we need to use some code with a procedure. For that, the same way as we inserted the Userform, let's now insert a module. This will be needed to store the hide title bar function code and declare its variables. Download it from the link in the description and paste it to the module. Now in the Workdash Userform events, pick up Initialize. Write the code line, hide title bar me. Now, every time we load the Userform, the Excel title bar will remain hidden. Let's change now the Userform dimensions on the Properties window in order to cover the whole screen. As every screen is different, unfortunately, a lot of try and error will be needed to achieve it. Whilst doing it, please do it so it will hide any borders, but just that. Overdoing will cause problems down the road. These are the dimensions that worked for me. Height 642.75. Width 1034.5. I also adjusted the top to -9 and the left to -7.5. To unload, press Alt plus Tab and unload it, stopping the editor. Did you achieve the totally black screen of success? Excellent. New and exciting adventures await ahead for us. Please don't forget to save the file as macro enabled. Let's call it, for example, 2xjune22.xlsm. If you think this channel has some potential and wish to continue watching it, please click subscribe, like, and share with your friends. See you soon.